Good morning. So I just posted my video from 3 years ago. I love this waterfall, one of my favorite areas in Great Park. So Deepak Chopra, if you've never studied any of Deepak's stuff, if you've never read any of his books, I can't encourage you enough to take a look into his stuff. Neuroimmunology, which is really Ayurvedic medicine, and, the ancient Hindus learned a lot that we're now discovering they were right upon thousands of years ago. And if you watch some of the most recent stuff, like you've heard me say that a lot of what we do is regurgitating the same thing. If you study philosophy, if you study personal development, even if you study religions and you look at the stories behind the stories in the books, it's really a lot of the same stuff. Truth is truth. And, we've talked about, now I don't remember his name, the chiropractor guy that's doing all the work where you go into meditation and you go into the gap and then you download data from the gap. And then that data helps you in terms of healing and doing all of these different, Joe Dispoza. That's Joe Dispoza's stuff. Well, in my opinion, what Deepak Chopra is talking about is really the same thing. And the fundamental basis is this. We in the West have this belief that we are physical beings that one day stood upright and started thinking. And the truth is the exact opposite, that we're actually thinking beings that are creating this physical experience. And when we start to grab that, and what Joe Dispoza does is he uses a different metaphor, go get the data from somewhere else that you then can utilize, but really the data is within you. We all have in our DNA the perfect antibody to defeat pneumococcus because somebody in our ancestry has done that. We know that positive things that happened in our ancestors are passed down in DNA, so are negative things. The Holocaust survivors showed us that, and DNA has showed us all that. How do we tap into that knowledge? Well, the knowledge is blocked by basic interference, which is just noise, stress, scrolling constantly on this machine, television, everything else. The noise of life is what makes it so that we don't stop and tap into all of those things. The reason transcendental meditation is so powerful is because we stop and we tap in. And remember, meditating doesn't have to mean that you're sitting on a rock with your legs crossed with your fingers like this. People meditate when they run. They meditate when they sit in a jacuzzi or sauna. You kind of meditate when you drive. You might meditate when you golf. You might meditate when you read. Meditation is nothing more than sitting quiet and letting the thoughts flow. And when you start to do that and then start to tap into this knowledge, this Ayurvedic knowledge, you realize the power of it. And the biggest power is controlling the flow of neurons in your body. Why is that so important? Well, that's managing state. That's what we always talk about is state management. So when we manage our state, when we think positively about what's going on in the world, then we're sending positive neurological processes through our body. When we think stressful things, then we're sending stressful neurological processes through our body. If you ride the Aerosmith rock and roller coaster and you, like me, think it's one of the greatest experiences in the world, then your body is going to be filled with dopamine and filled with all kinds of positive drugs. If you think standing by this waterfall is unbelievably tranquil and you feel that, your body actually produces the tranquility molecule, diazepam. It produces it in the perfect dose. It produces it in the perfect way for your body to utilize. On the other hand, if riding the Aerosmith rock and roller coaster is terrifying, then your body is going to produce adrenaline and cortisol and all of these things. If you produce positive things, your body heals itself. If you produce negative things, your body destroys itself. We are constantly dying and regenerating. We regenerate every cell in our body for the most part every year, and most of it is a lot quicker than that. Billions of cells are dying all the time. So the ones that are bad, if you're filling yourself full of good stuff, the bad stuff goes away. If you're filling yourself full of terrible stuff, then all you do is fill yourself full of more terrible stuff. You can see people that go through stress. the photos of people before and after they go into war and when they come out of war. You can see this, how the stress ages them. Meanwhile, you can see somebody like Martha Stewart, who constantly looks at everything as an advantage, even going to prison for her seemed like a cakewalk. And now she's 81 years old and she's on the cover of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. I mean, how amazing is that? Well, what is she constantly doing? First of all, she feels like she's in control of her life, and she's always looking for the positive outcome. How am I going to create a positive outcome? How can I take this and make it into something better and be a role model for everybody else? That's how she approaches her life. And as a result, she's created all kinds of great outcomes in her life. So I encourage you to take a look at Deepack Chopra. Say hi to my neighbors. I encourage you to take a look at Deepak Chopra at some point. Take a look at Transcendental Meditation. If you're not doing any of that, I strongly encourage you to check it out. But read his stuff. Listen to some of his podcasts. He started out as a traditional doctor. He taught at Harvard. He taught at Tufts. He was the head physician at Boston, Massachusetts Medical, and then decided that this was a better way, even though his counterparts at the time thought that he was crazy. There's a reason that he thought it was a better way, because the power of all of this, the power of the mind to change your health, to change the physical outcomes of your body. And not only that, but to change your reality out here is unlimited. The only thing that limits it is our beliefs, is our limiting beliefs. And how do you start doing that? You start by managing your state in the morning. This is why we do the morning routine that we do. This is why we do priming every morning, because it starts us off on that positive run. And that you sow those seeds and you're going to reap great rewards. So check out Deepak. Just pop on a podcast, listen to his basic stuff about neuroimmunology, neurosciences, big words, but all it means is get quiet. The answers will come. We're in control. We always have the ability to control our state. We cannot control the response, but we can control the meaning we can always control our response. We can't control the event, but we can always control the meaning that event has. And that meaning decides the chemical makeup of our body and what physically happens for us. We can literally make ourselves get younger by thinking good thoughts, and then, of course, exercising and eating the right things. But you can exercise and eat the right things, and if you're stressed out of your mind all the time, it's not going to matter. You're going to drop of a heart attack or have a stroke. But if you're constantly filling yourself with great stuff is going to start to come out in every aspect of your life. How you look, what you create, your outcomes, your relationships, everything. Check out Deepak. It's worth it. Thank you very much, everybody, for hopping on. Somebody said you didn't acknowledge me. Well, that's because I only see the people when they actually make a response. So Mr. Drahobel, Joanne, great to see you. Say hi to your husband. And Rose Stocker, great to see you too. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.